everyone, and thank you for joining on another Tuesday night. Do we have a special topic today? And why has this one come about? Because it seems to be what I'm getting a lot of people questioning. Has God forsaken me? Why do I have to keep suffering? Why can't I get out of this misery? Why can't I see an escape out of this darkness? Whether it's an emotional issue, whether it's mental, whether it's physical. There's a lot of people being tried at this time, and it is not that they are lost favor of God. It doesn't work that way. God is all love. And that is the message what I'd like to bring in today, along with this beautiful healing energy that we have, so we can bring calmness and peace into our hearts, so we can heal those layers that need to be healed. Thank you for joining. Today's Tuesday is our weekly group healing call. It's always a pleasure to be here. I know there are some people that have been texting me with some special intentions that some tough times they're going through, and they will be included. If you would like to use a chat to add in special intentions that you would like to bring in today's call, by all means do so. This is a safe place. The beings of light that come through are pure love. They're all part of Christ consciousness, 100% pure love and light. And whatever is going on in your life, I don't ever want you to give up hope. I don't ever want you to be in despair. I want you to crawl, run, jump out as fast as possible from that lower vibration into that higher vibration, so you can feel that love of God. It's there raining on all of us. It's just sometimes we get a little bit further down on the vibrational scale where we can't feel it or see it anymore. I'm going to tell you a personal story. I don't usually do this, but I just feel there's been many people suffering, and I want them to know they're not alone. There are many people who feel that God doesn't love them, or they've made God mad. God is all love. God is not a human being. It's not like a human parent. It is an energy, a consciousness, a creator that we have come from, and it is pure love. So I know it can be very confusing because some of us grow up with programming that God can be mad and you have to go to confession and say sorry for the forgiveness. That is all man-made, and I don't want to offend anyone. I'm not against religion in any way. Religion has its place, but we're dealing with spirituality here. We're dealing with who you truly are, a magnificent being of light who's coming to this physical body to live an experience in a human form. And when you do that, we forget everything that we know. And then we're brought into families with different belief systems, programming, social programming. And what we're doing right now on planet Earth is breaking free from it. And as you start to break free, you start to feel sometimes a little lost. Sometimes it's like, what's going on here? I'm confused. That's part of the awakening process. And some of you have been awake longer than others. Some of you are just waking up. And it can be a little rattling. And sometimes if you're the only person in your house that's waking up and your belief systems start to change, or you start to question belief systems that you grew up with, they might start to think that, hey, whatever you're doing, you need to stop it because you're rattling this house and we don't like it. So it can be an uncomfortable journey when you start to awaken. But the hearts of so many are starting to open to their true magnificence. I do have a few slides I'd like to show you today. And for those of you who have been joining my calls for some time, you might remember some of these slides. But I do believe it is important to remember who you are, how magnificent you are. I want you to feel that in every cell of your body, that connection to your divinity. You know, it breaks my heart sometimes, and that's my emotional side, my human side. I'm generally pretty good when I'm dealing with clients where I can stay up here detached, holding the light for them. But when I'm done my job as holding the space, when people leave, some clients really hit me hard in my heart because they're so lost. They're so separated from who they truly are. They're so in disbelief that they could ever be magnificent. They don't even believe the words that I tell them when I say you're magnificent. A lot of us, when we say we're magnificent beings, it feels good. You can feel it in your heart. You may not understand it, but it feels good. But imagine if I said, you're a magnificent being. You're a love beyond measure. And there's just nothing, and no feeling inside, just this confusion. How can she even say that? I am not worthy. I upset God. I am a failure. I did bad things. I'll never be forgiven. And sometimes there's the other people out there, and I'm going to put myself in that category, who always loved everyone and everything, but I didn't love myself. So I was separated from God. You can't get or have God's blessing when you're in a lower vibration, and that lower vibration can be done, or you could be in it for many different reasons. It could be traumas you went through, it could be experiences that you have seen, it could be so many different things. And we're all slowly healing from that, and we heal layer by layer. So a lot of people are looking for that magic wand, make it go away. I can't handle this pain anymore, whether it's emotional, physical, or mental. Now I know there's a lot of people just on the chat who have done healings for a very long time. And I know many clients have been doing it for years. I know I've been on my healing journey for 15 years. I know many people I've trained with that have been on their healing journey for 50 years. And if you ask them, does it ever end? No, because we are multidimensional beings. But the beauty of this lifetime, this beauty of us moving into the ascension process, first, we have so much support. You're never going to have more support than you already have. Now, for some people, they need to see that support in a specific way. And when they feel like the support can come in a different way, they start to get scared. Well, say if I say thank you to a being of light I don't know, and it's the wrong thing, it's the wrong energy, it's coming from a different realm, and their fear takes over and they're very worried. And then they just don't even know what to do. They become so confused. But what if you woke up every morning connected to the divinity in you and this creative energy? You can call it God, you can call it source, you can call it creative, the creator, you can call it the universe. It doesn't matter about the name, Christ consciousness. It's all just that pure love that we come from. So if you made an intention, an affirmation, that when I connect, I'm only connecting with 100% divine love and light. And then when you're connecting, if you were to get a message, if you were to feel something hug you, you know it's coming from that beautiful, loving Christ consciousness. And you have nothing to worry about. So if you do get a hug from something and you might be like, oh, that's not the right thing. No, it's the right thing. There's another thing you can do. You can say, if you were, let's say, being worked on, some people are becoming more sensitive and they can feel worked on. And if you say, if there's anything inappropriate working on me, it must stop now. And when you say that with your power, this is your body, this is your soul, and it doesn't stop, well then, it's a being of light that is working on us. We are being worked on a lot during the day. We're being worked on a lot during our sleep. I don't want you to fear the love that is coming at us so strongly nowadays. Now, many of the people that are on my call, you guys get it. You know, I can't get everyone on these calls. They're not meant for everyone. People come in and out of these calls as they need them. But for those of you who are on the calls and you can feel this love, when I say beings of light, what does that mean to you? Well, they're all love. They know exactly what you need. They work with your higher self, your soul that knows exactly where you've been, where you need to go, what's in the way, and what's up for healing today. So we trust the process and we allow the love in. You guys can do it pretty easy. I can feel it. I know, yes, there's a bit of anxiety when we start these calls. I can feel that. There's a little bit of, oh, should I do it? What's coming up? Something's bubbling up. I don't like it. The dark energy, the dense energy that we're releasing has a consciousness, and it doesn't want to leave. It likes picking on you. But that layer is going to be released today with that love that comes through. And a lot of you are regulars. You know that feeling. But once that anxiety passes, what do you feel? Immense love coming through. Because you deserve it. And we are on such a beautiful trajectory as we're moving to the new earth. I never want you to give up on yourself. And I'm so blessed to do these calls with this group of people because you guys are allowing. You guys are giving that permission. There are so many others out there, and perhaps you have others out there in your life that you would love to say, come and join these calls. Allow the love of God to help you move up to that vibrational scale. And they'll tell me, no, I'm not loved. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve. Sometimes our traumas can be so big. And our childhood traumas, but not just childhood, they can happen in childhood. They can happen in your in your teens, in your 20s, in your 30s, in your 40s, in your 50s. These traumas can become very big. They're called moments of time or soul fragments. There's a part of you that is replicating that moment of time, that trauma over and over and over and over. What does it want? It wants more trauma. It wants more hurt. It needs to replicate because that's all it knows. Now, sometimes these traumas get so big, it's almost like we're possessed by our own self. But no matter how despairing it feels, no matter how hard it feels, no matter how dark or locked up in a room you feel like, the love of God is always there. So allowing that love to come in and help us heal those wounds, those traumas, those negative beliefs, those patterns of behavior that just are not suiting us, those moments of time, ancestral wounds, past lives, all of it. When we deal with those in healings, the layer is complicated, but we don't have to understand it. There's many, 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 many different things in our layer. But when our soul, our higher self, is ready to release a layer, whatever's in it, we don't have to fully understand it. We don't have to relive it. We allow it to lift. And what happens when it lifts? When it lifts, more light comes in. You become more of who you are. The way we heal, the way we get back to who we are, is to let go the parts of us that aren't really us. It's actually that simple, but it's quite a journey, and it's kind of complicated. And if you try to understand it with the human mind, it's not that easy to understand because we're dealing with multidimensional issues, challenges, understandings. So how does the human mind wrap itself around? Sometimes I just have to say, I know what's happening. I can feel it happening. Just today, because this call was coming up today, and I was also feeling the hurt of a client. I got sad suddenly. I was in a really good mojo, and suddenly this wave of sadness came, and I had actually 3 clients pop up in my view. I could feel them. I could feel their hurt. And I said, okay, what is it in me that's being triggered by them? And I sat there quietly, and I sent us all healings. Simply sending love to whatever they need and whatever I need to release us all from our hurts, from our traumas. Because sometimes we have triggers, and those triggers go both ways. They're triggering something in me, and I might be triggering something in them. Using things like Ho'oponopono, because you don't have to be a healer. We all have that love. You don't have to consider yourself a healer. You can heal by using simple processes like Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you and thank you. I'm sorry, please forgive me, I love you and thank you. Grab pictures of people that are hurting your heart. It could be your daughter, it could be a spouse, it could be your whole family. could be friends, could be someone who hurt you. Put their picture out. Let those feelings bubble up and use Ho'oponopono. You'll see how powerful you are because you will heal yourself and you will heal them. This day and age, if I can teach you anything or get across to you, is to own your magnificence. To know that you are a divine being of light. To know that you are magnificent. And this is just an aspect of you in this physical body. Now, we only get this body one time. I'm only going to be Brenda Ferrugia one time. So I try to make every moment count. So when I'm down, what do I look for? How am I going to raise myself up? There's a lot going on planet Earth. We can look on the news and you get this horrific information. No, that can't be happening in our day and age. It just can't. And you kind of get into fear, worry, sadness. But you don't want to stay there. It's okay to dip into it once in a while, but you want to get yourself out of it. Why? Because when you raise your vibration and you hold your vibration higher, you start to feel the love of God. Your light expands. And then you're holding the light for those who can't. So there's a lot of people suffering in this world right now. We can see it. We're seeing all different timelines right now. Many different times. I'm not saying we're seeing all of them, but we're seeing a very, very wide range of different timelines. You want to focus on the good timelines. Because when you ask for positivity, you put out positivity, what happens? You get positivity. When you bless something, you get blessed back. If I'm looking at negative, what's going to happen? I'm going to lower my vibration. More negative is going to come into my life. I'm going to slowly get more negative. Over time, I'm going to get more negative. And I'm going to shift into a different timeline that I don't want to be in. This is the time where your thoughts, your words, your actions matter. Nobody can go through this ascension process for you. This is a very individual choice. Now we're going as a human collective. We've decided, yes, in the etheric field, we're going. But every person on this planet has their free will to choose what track they want to be on. So what track do you want to be on? Now, I openly say, I'm on the Ascension track. I will do whatever I can. I work on myself every single day. And I'm human, guys. Some people will say, oh, Brenda, you always look like you're happy. You always look like this. You don't know what's going on inside this. I, too, get affected when I see those images, and I limit myself. But when I see those horrific images, I am human, and it hurts. And my vibration can drop. But what I have learned over 15 years is how to get myself back up. And it is a practice every single day. And when I feel wobbly, then I have to stop what I'm doing and I need to go focus on me. A lot of people will say, well, I'm feeling really good. And then I lost it after 5 days. Well, in that 5 days where you felt good, and that's good, feel good for 5 days. I go, what were you doing? Were you meditating? Were you saying affirmations? Were you taking care of yourself? No, I felt so good I just forgot about it. No matter how good you feel, you need to keep on top of it because there is a lot of darkness on this planet at this time. And it's coming at us from our own traumas as we're releasing. We're connected to many different aspects of our oversoul, different timelines, different, we can call them past lives and future lives. We're affected by so much. So we have this outside interference, that we have all this information coming to us. If you don't take care of your field, you don't take care of you every single day, it's going to creep in slowly. One day, and hopefully one day soon, we will be on a track and we can say we're on it and we can let our guard down for a bit. But this is not the time to let your guard down. I know it's work. And people will say, oh, this is a lot of work. Yeah, it's a lot of work, but aren't you worth it? You're a divine being of God. You're not worth the work. 15 minutes a day, 1-5. You're not worth that. You're definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. Now, there is nobody that's going to come magically and take this all away. I have worked with many healers all over the world. I have spoken to many healers all over the world. I have listened to podcasts. I have read hundreds of books. And what do they all say? We heal layer by layer. We need to do the work. This is our mess we created in humanity. It is for us to uncreate it. Now, someone will say, well, I didn't add to the wars that are happening right now. No, but we pay taxes that added to the flow of giving those types of things to countries. We have added by not just being part of this being part of 3D. So and you don't know what we've done in other lifetimes, so we have added to this. This is not just their problem or their problem. This is a human consciousness problem. And what we need to do is we need to do what is right. We need to make the right choices for ourselves. And when someone says, God has forsaken me, I just want to hold them and let them feel the love come through me so they can feel how loved they are. God has not forsaken you. You have just dropped to a lower vibration where you're feeling that dark, dense, heavy energy. And when you're in it, I know all of us have been in it. It sucks. Brings on depression, sadness, despair, anxiety, worry, fear. Our inner child's freaking out. There's a lot of things happening. But when we're feeling that love, when we're raising our vibration, what happens? We feel passion, excitement, inspiration. We feel that connection. And sometimes people say, I felt bliss for a few moments. I just felt what it was to be connected to God like so deeply. That glimpse is what you want to strive for. And as we move through the ascension process, it's going to get easier and easier and easier. We just have to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and never give up on yourself. But know that you are loved beyond measure. The love of God loves all of us, all the same. None of us are more special than everyone else. We're all special. But you want to raise yourself up to bring that love in. Now, someone will say, well, what do I need to do to feel that? How do I make better decisions? Well, sometimes they're just really basic. Don't lie. Let go of the hate. Learn to forgive yourself and forgive others. Stop being judgmental. Stop assuming what you're doing is right and someone else is wrong. Stop assuming that we all have to be the same. Those are just some basic things. Have more compassion for yourself. Don't leave yourself in separation. Yes, we all made mistakes. And sometimes we look at the past and we say, oh my gosh, why didn't I know better? What could I have done better? You could have done nothing better back then. Because that version of you was in a different frame of mind, under different programming. And as you've awoken and you're starting to heal and change, your subconscious heals. Your programming heals. You start to feel your magnificence. And when you start to make better choices, we then regret what we did in the past. That was a different version of you. Just let it go. Accept that different version as, wow, Brenda made some really silly mistakes back in the day. She had no self-love. I thank her for doing what she did to allow me to grow, to become who I am today. And this version right now, today, what day is it today? October 1st. In about 2 days, this version, maybe in 1 day, maybe after this healing, will be a different version yet again. Because we're always changing. When you decide that you matter, when you decide to change the narrative, change the patterns of behavior. And once you know you have a pattern of behavior, you know it, it's no longer a pattern of behavior. It's now a choice. Simple. What do you choose? Are you going to choose the old way of thinking? Are you going to choose the old paradigm? Are you going to choose to watch the same nasty stuff and let that filter into your system? Or are you going to say, no, I care about myself too much. I'm going to be the light holder for myself and my family. I'm going to do what's right. I'm going to live life. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to make wrong decisions. And some people say, oh my God, I always make the wrong decision. I get it. With time and healing, you will start to learn prudence and discernment. Ask for that today. When we go into this meditation today, ask for the love of God to help you make better choices in your life. So instead of always going the wrong track, you go to the right track. You know, it's healing layer by layer. And when we make a mistake, what do? You forgive yourself and then move forward. You know, we're on planet Earth. Things are still going to come at us. Things are still going to challenge us. Things are going to piss us off, frustrate us, make us cry. We have things coming out. Just be with them through challenges, and they're testing us, and they're teaching us, and they're allowing us to see what's hidden and needs to heal. So no more suppressing. Let things come up to the surface. It's okay to be sad, but don't dwell in sadness. It's okay to be angry, but don't dwell in anger. Let it out. Move forward. You got this. You're beautiful. I would like everyone to take a deep breath. I was going to show you some pictures today, and I'm probably not going to get to it now because we're getting into the healing call. There's so much information out there. But I'm going to give you one. I'm just going to explain it instead of bringing it up. But when someone is in a dark cloud and they're in a dark room, all they see is darkness. They're victims. And it's really hard to deal with someone who's in a victim state because they're living a reality that's real to them. Even if we allow some of that trauma, some of that darkness to leave, let's say it's a mile long and now it's half a mile long. They're still in it. So they feel like, I'm not changing. I'm still in it. Nothing's working. But when you see them, energetically, they look a lot lighter because they no longer have a mile of darkness. It's not like it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. But until they're able to really see that crack of light, it doesn't matter if they're in this much or this much or this much. They just feel like they're a victim and they can't get out of it. So being compassionate to those who are in that victim mentality, that feel like they don't deserve, they can't get out of it. We can keep reminding them that they're beautiful, that they deserve. We can send them love, send them light, but do not take responsibility for their healing. Because when you're holding the light for someone and you really want them to snap out of it, it is up to them. It is up to their higher self. It is up to their soul's journey to wake up when they're ready. So we can hold the light. We can make it available. Just like when we do this in this meditation, we send the love and light to all these people we're worried about. But can we force the healing? Absolutely not. Their higher self is going to take what it can. That's why when we have healing sessions, some people have these miraculous shifts, 180, and like, oh my gosh, I had miraculous healing. We didn't do that. They did it. Yes, we held the space for them, but I could have held the same space for somebody else and they would have had no change. I can have 10 people in front of me. Hold the light. What's going to happen? Everyone's going to get what they need. Some may have fabulous healings. Some are going to walk away saying it didn't work for me. Now, when we're holding the light for people, should we take that personally? Absolutely not. It is our hope that everyone heals. It is our hope that everyone decides to take the Ascension train. But it's not necessary that everybody will. And it's okay because a soul's journey is a soul's journey. Eventually, every soul gets back home. So I know, I can feel you guys. You guys are working on yourselves. You're doing your best. And I know it can be frustrating. And I know it can be upsetting. But you know what? You're doing a great job. So pat yourself on the back. Take that time to reconnect every day in quiet body and quiet mind. That is where your power is. Now, sometimes I'll say, and people know that I do this, oh, I'm meditating when I cut the lawn. And I do. I'm really connected when I do that. But what I've been getting the urge to do more so is actually quiet the mind and the body to be still. So I am making an effort to be still more than not every day. So, what are you willing to do for yourself to get to that next level, to keep that love flowing? I'm going to get the call ready now for the healing part. I'm just going to drink a moment, get the music on. But before we start, I am going to just let you know, because I just kind of put it together today. It's been something that's been brewing. On October 17th, I believe it's called the Hunter's Moon. It's a Thursday. I'm going to be starting an 8-week intensive course for people who are really committed on themselves, in themselves, working on themselves, who want to be part of a community where we meet live once a week. I'm going to have supporting meditations for each week. We're going to have a group chat in WhatsApp where we can connect, ask questions, support, and be supported. It's something new. I've never tried it before, but I know it's going to be fabulous. Look for the email. It's going to be on my website. If you want to visit sobrilliant.ca, there is a landing page. I just created it all today. When I'm in the flow and I know I'm getting guidance, I can create things very quickly. So it's all come together very quickly. It runs 8 weeks, but there's going to be a promo week or a bonus week that's going to start on the 10th of October for anybody who wants to join a live course to learn how to meditate and why deep breathing is important. It's an interactive live course I'm going to be putting on, which anyone who joins the 8-week will have access to the replay or joining that live call. It's going to be fun, but it's going to be supportive, because right now it is so important to take care of you. To take care of you, to focus every day. I'm not saying that this course is going to take all your time. It's really just one day a week where we're live for 2 hours. But I am going to put it out there that I would like you to at least commit to 5 minutes a day to give yourself that quiet reflection time so you can make the most of this 8 weeks. The goal is, it's like these calls, but it's going to be a little more, it's going to be on Zoom, so it's a little more interactive, a lot more, touchy-feely. If you just want to just sit and listen, you can. If you want to be interactive, you can. Group coaching is amazing because it takes that one brave soul to ask a question that everyone else is asking. And we heal together. We learn together. And we support each other for the next 8 weeks. So you can learn some really valuable basic things that you should know, tools that you can use. I teach so much and then people forget. I don't use that tool. Because in a session, you're only getting 1 hour of me. But imagine 8 weeks of constantly learning, constantly trying, constantly repeating. You're going to form some beautiful new habits. And we need these new habits as we move into the new earth. So do it for yourself. Do it for your family. If it resonates, please join. And now let's get into this beautiful music, this beautiful healing, so we together can bring in the love.